What if the sushi you're savoring is hiding a dangerous secret? Beneath the pristine presentation of sushi lies a growing crisis that threatens not just your wallet, but your health and the environment. Across the United States, experts are raising alarms about fake sushi, where premium fish like salmon and tuna are swapped for cheaper substitutes like tilapia or escolar, often leading to severe digestive issues. This deception, driven by profit and enabled by murky supply chains, undermines the trust we place in restaurants and challenges the very essence of sushi as a culinary art. As a lover of sushi's delicate balance of flavors, I find this betrayal deeply unsettling. It's a stark reminder that even our most cherished dining experiences can be tainted by greed. The phenomenon of fake sushi is not a mere culinary misstep. It's a symptom of systemic issues in the global seafood industry. High-end fish like bluefin tuna or wild-caught salmon are prized for their rich flavor and texture, commanding prices that can exceed $20 per pound at wholesale markets. In contrast, tilapia, often raised in densely packed aquaculture farms, costs as little as $2 per pound. Escolar, another frequent substitute, is even more problematic due to its high content of wax esters, which can cause keriorrhea, a distressing condition marked by oily diarrhea that can last for days. A 2013 Oceana study revealed that 94% of fish labeled as white tuna in New York City sushi restaurants were actually escolar, a fish the FDA advises against marketing due to its health risks. Knowing that a dish I might order could trigger such an unpleasant reaction makes me question every bite, turning a joyful meal into a gamble. This fraud isn't limited to budget sushi joints, it's pervasive across the industry. A 2019 study by UCLA found that 47% of sushi samples in Los Angeles restaurants were mislabeled, with tilapia and red snapper often substituted for pricier species. The global seafood supply chain, which often involves multiple countries and intermediaries, creates ample opportunities for deception. Fish caught in the Pacific might be processed in Asia, frozen, shipped to the US, and relabeled before reaching your plate. Each step introduces a chance for mislabeling, whether intentional, to boost profits, or accidental, due to lax oversight. DNA barcoding, a technique that identifies species through genetic markers, has exposed the scale of this issue, but its high cost and limited use mean most fraud goes undetected. As someone who values transparency in food, I find it maddening that such a complex system allows deceit to flourish so easily. The health risks of fake sushi extend beyond escolar's laxative effects. Substituted fish can harbor contaminants like mercury or antibiotics, especially when sourced from poorly regulated farms. For instance, tilapia from certain Asian farms has been found to contain residues of banned antibiotics like chloramphenicol, which can cause severe allergic reactions or even bone marrow suppression in rare cases. A 2022 study highlighted that 53% of seafood fraud incidents involved illegal veterinary residues, particularly in products from Vietnam, China, and India. Pregnant women and children are especially vulnerable, as some substituted fish, like tilefish mislabeled as snapper, can contain high mercury levels, posing risks to fetal development or neurological health. The thought of unknowingly exposing myself or loved ones to such dangers while seeking a healthy meal is nothing short of infuriating. Environmentally, the impact of seafood fraud is equally dire. Tilapia and pangasius, common substitutes, are often farmed in overcrowded conditions that degrade water quality and rely heavily on antibiotics to prevent disease. These practices contribute to pollution and antibiotic resistance, threatening marine ecosystems. In contrast, responsibly sourced tuna or salmon often comes from fisheries adhering to stricter sustainability standards, such as those certified by the Marine Stewardship Council. By passing off farmed fish as wild-caught, restaurants not only deceive consumers, but also undermine efforts to protect overfished species. For example, a 2018 study in the UK found that 70% of samples sold as snapper were actually different species, including some from threatened reef-dwelling populations. As someone who cares about the planet, it's disheartening to realize that my sushi order could inadvertently support practices that harm the oceans I love. The cultural significance of sushi amplifies the sting of this deception. In Japan, sushi is a revered tradition, with chefs training for decades to master the art of selecting and preparing fish. Substituting tilapia for tuna or escolar for albacore is unthinkable in a traditional sushi, where every ingredient is chosen with precision and respect. In the US, however, the booming popularity of sushi, evidenced by Americans consuming 43.7 million servings at grocery stores and 238.6 million at restaurants in 2023, has turned it into a commodity ripe for exploitation. This commercialization dilutes the artistry I admire, replacing it with a profit-driven model that prioritizes cost over quality. It's a betrayal not just of the consumer, but of a culinary heritage that deserves better. Consumer trust is another casualty of this fraud. Sushi is more than food. It's an experience built on the expectation of authenticity. When I sit at a sushi bar, watching a chef slice fish with surgical precision, I trust that the ingredients match the menu's promise. Learning that 74% of sushi restaurants in a 2013 Oceana study had at least one mislabeled sample shatters that trust. It's not just about paying premium prices for inferior fish. It's about the erosion of a ritual that feels sacred. I've always found solace in the simplicity of sushi, but now each bite comes with a nagging doubt. Is this really what I ordered? Addressing this crisis demands action on multiple fronts. Regulatory bodies like the FDA and NOAA are increasing efforts to combat seafood fraud, but their resources are limited. The FDA tests less than 1% of seafood for mislabeling, and NOAA's genetics labs are overstretched. Initiatives like Gulf Wild and Blue Trace, which use tagging and digital tracking to ensure traceability, offer hope by allowing buyers to verify a fish's origin. Some restaurants are also taking proactive steps, sourcing directly from trusted suppliers and sharing detailed sourcing information with customers. For instance, high-end sushi restaurants in cities like New York often display certificates of authenticity, a practice that reassures me as a diner and sets a standard for others to follow. Consumers can fight back by educating themselves. Learning to recognize terms like white tuna as a red flag for escolar is a start. Apps like Seafood Watch, developed by the Monterey Bay Aquarium, guide diners towards sustainable choices, while asking questions about sourcing at restaurants can pressure establishments to prioritize transparency. I've begun checking these resources before dining out, and though it feels like extra work, it's empowering to take control of what I eat. Still, the burden shouldn't fall solely on consumers. The industry must step up to ensure accountability. The fake sushi scandal mirrors broader food fraud trends, from olive oil diluted with cheaper oils to honey mixed with corn syrup. Seafood, as one of the most traded food commodities globally, is particularly vulnerable due to its complex supply chain. A 2021 Guardian analysis of 44 studies found that nearly 40% of 9,000 seafood products worldwide were mislabeled, with the US among the worst offenders. This global perspective makes the issue feel even more daunting, but it also underscores the urgency of collective action. The economic impact is staggering. Seafood fraud costs the U.S. economy millions annually, with one estimate suggesting $7 million in losses from species substitution alone. Beyond economics, the ethical implications are profound. Mislabeling allows illegally caught fish, including endangered species, to enter supply chains, undermining conservation efforts. A 2021 Oceana report noted that 40% of mislabeled samples belonged to species with unknown sustainability status, complicating efforts to protect vulnerable stocks. As someone who strives to make ethical food choices, it's maddening to think my sushi order might contribute to overfishing or illegal practices. Technological solutions like blockchain are emerging as potential game changers. By creating a transparent, tamper-proof record of a fish's journey from boat to plate, blockchain could eliminate opportunities for fraud. Pilot programs in the EU have already reduced seafood fraud rates from 23% to 8% through stricter traceability laws, offering a model for the US to follow. I'm hopeful that such innovations could restore confidence in the sushi I love, but widespread adoption will take time and investment. In the meantime, The fake sushi crisis serves as a wake-up call. It challenges us to question what we eat, demand accountability from the industry, and advocate for stronger regulations. The next time you order sushi, consider the hidden risks lurking beneath that perfect slice of fish. For me, the joy of sushi lies in its promise of purity and craftsmanship, and I refuse to let fraud steal that away. By staying informed and vigilant, we can reclaim the authenticity of this beloved cuisine and protect the oceans that sustain it.